guests coming on.
Let's hear the clip of Mike Polk yesterday. I'd like to play that. This is Mike's idea.
At this point, I really think maybe the best case scenario is the year, a whole year.
So you're going the other way.
Here's what I'm thinking. Yeah. All right, you said it yourself. It can't be 0 games.
Right.
It can't be 2 games because Tom Brady got suspended how many games for deflating
4.
footballs?
4.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look good. Like I know that we shouldn't care about what looks good, but they do care, whether that's right or not. If it's half the season, then your playoff hopes are pretty much dashed, I would say, at that point, unless they do something ridiculous. And then he comes back, and then what do you do? At that point, you lost a year of his contract. If you can still maintain that year of his contract and count next year as his first year, which is a possibility from what I understand, is that not true?
Yep. Yes.
Then you get a year off. We have that much more cap space next year because he'll have on that ridiculous contract for $1 million if it's his first year. So the more I think about this, the more I think that possibly the best case scenario is the entire year.
Now, guys, I think Mike makes an interesting point because if the contract tolls, you get him for another year. The problem is we don't know what the Browns' record's going to be after 8 games.
Yes.
But ultimately, the more I think about this, I think Mike's out of his mind because the Browns' schedule is favorable enough. The team is talented enough around Jacoby Brissett. Let's assume it's Jacoby Brissett, and let's assume it's 8 games. If it's less than 8 games, you obviously don't want him to be suspended for the year. And if it's more, then you'd rather him be suspended for the year than 12 games because what's the point after 12 games? But 8 games, to me, I think the Browns could stick in it enough that I want him back because I think I could go 6-3, 7-2 with Deshaun and still make the playoffs. Tyvis, what do you got?
The thing, it definitely depends on what the Browns' record is. If the Browns aren't doing well, if they're, I don't know.
But you'd have to know. But you'd have to make this. You'd have to say what you'd rather have before the season. So you would know.
Before the season, I would probably rather have him back because let's stop and think about the Browns here. Kevin Stefanski's been the coach for 2 seasons. Obviously, the first season, they go to the playoffs, they win. The last season, even with Baker hurt, they were in a lot of games with a hurt quarterback. So I think that Kevin Stefanski is a good offensive mind that will at least give this team a chance. I think they'll win more games than people think, even if Deshaun isn't there. Even with Jacoby as the quarterback, he is able to make the pass. I think in Kevin Stefanski's offense, one, we should lean more on the run game with the 2 running backs that we have with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That's one. 2, Njoku is going to be the asset. I think you have to justify paying him top 5 money. So I think he'll be featured a lot, which means it won't be a lot of deep balls being thrown because outside of Anthony Schwartz, we don't really have somebody that's going to blow the top off of a defense.
Right.
Grant is good, but he's a gadgets guy. He's one of those guys that comes in and gets jet sweeps, gets reverses and stuff like that. He's not one of those ones that's going to go deep down the field and catch a ball. Amari Cooper is one of those guys who's a route runner. He's not a deep ball threat, but he's a great route runner. So I think Jacoby Brissett is going to be asked to make, at the deep ball, 15-yard routes. I think he's totally capable of doing that. He's done well with Indy when he was there. I think this Browns team can definitely go at least 7-3 in those 10 games.
Brad, I know you're thinking. I know the first thing you're thinking is, well, we could have Baker Mayfield, but we're taking that out of the equation. If the choice is Jacoby for 8 games, or whatever, somebody worse than that, if he gets hurt or something, what would you do? Would you rather it?
No, I'd rather for Deshaun Watson to come back, right, and just play it out that way. And to dispel my 2 friends here, I'm not the only one to think like I think. I was watching TV yesterday, and Marcellus Wiley is thinking just as I quoted on TV yesterday.
He stole it from you.
Right. No, I think that anybody that is being reasonable here know how this game works and this profession works, right? Understand that Baker Mayfield controls no cards. The Browns control all the cards.
Yep.
The Browns say jump, he says how high. He doesn't like it, and that's how it works.
And he doesn't get paid.
That's right. That's how it works. Yep. But to your point, I need Watson, right? Because I don't think he's getting out any long suspension because if it goes long, the Players Association is going to go upside the NFL's head with a bunch of things, right? And I don't think it works out in anybody's benefit. It behooves the entire group to put this thing to rest. And I don't care about what Brady got because they didn't have an arbitrator doing the thing when Brady was cheating with the balls, right? This is a wholly different ball.
It's alleged. Allegedly, he deflated the ball.
Allegedly.
DeQuell was here. He was the one who, he had the ball, and he said he didn't.
He caught the interception.
What's that?
The call caught the interception that
right,
was
right.
the ball that ended up getting investigated by the NFL.
He wasn't the one that reported it.
No, he didn't report it, but the ball that he caught was the one that got investigated.
Didn't he say to us that he didn't notice it? I thought that's what he said.
I thought he said that too.
Yeah. G, what do you got?
Let's go ahead and just get this, shoot this right on.
Oh
down.
man.
Yeah.
Now look, we're not gonna start this already now, because I done seen a little pattern here. This little double standard that we got between Baker and Deshaun Watson is starting to be fascinating to me. Now, Mike Polk Jr., y'all cats told me all last year that if Baker was ready to go, and he told all you needed to know was Baker said he was fine, we gonna trot him out every single game. And that's what y'all did. Y'all trotted him out there every single game, and he threw 4 picks against the Packers, 2 against the Lions, terrible completion percentage against the Ravens. But now you telling me that you got Deshaun Watson, who's not injured, who's not hurt, who won't be suspended, but you trying to sit him for a year?
Well, no, we're going under the assumption that it's 8 games or a year. That those are the 2 options.
Well, here's the thing. He said in his comment, I would rather it be 1 year than 8, because anything past 8 games,
yes.
and I go, no. If he's available and ready to go, we doing that. Stop the games. Second of all, he ain't here today, but we've heard people warm this up too. Now, you guys can't have it both ways. Baker Mayfield, all I heard from people standing on top of First Energy Stadium, screaming out, Baker, he got us our only win. He went to Pittsburgh and did the impossible, G. Bush. We got to treat him better. All of a sudden, you get Deshaun Watson in this Super Bowl or bust. Now, hold on now. You just told me that one little playoff win was the greatest thing you've ever seen. You was crying, hugging family members. You went to church afterwards. You was such a joyous occasion. Now you telling me if Deshaun Watson just go to the Super Bowl and they lose in a close game, unacceptable, the trade ain't worth it. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop it. Y'all trying to warm it up. We're not going to let y'all do that. We're not letting you warm that up. And by the way, and y'all not going to vote for him for MVP even if he does play well. This is what we look up against. The long story short is, no, Mike, I went home. I had to ponder over it. I was eating some rigatonis, and I said, he's crazy. There's no way Deshaun Watson is going to sit if he's not ready.
Gee, 2 things. First of all, to back your point about Baker Mayfield's win, I don't mean to diminish it, but I'm going to. Could the Steelers have possibly been playing worse football going into that game?
5 turnovers.
They had fallen, but no. But yes, correct.
Yes.
But even leading up, remember, they started 11-0, and then they just crapped the bed the rest of the season.
Yeah, but Bull, you can only play who's in front of you, right?
Agreed.
We ain't about to do that.
But it wasn't like they beat a vintage Steeler team.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can only play who's in front of me.
Like I said,
you're right. I can't help if they suck. Right? I can't.
They suck.
So
to your
not
point,
a win don't mean
no,
that.
the win means something. I'm just diminishing it a little
Don't
bit.
do that. Don't do that.
You just being petty.
I don't like that.
I'm being petty.
I don't like that.
He don't like that.
Number 2, it's a clean sweep across the board. Here's the thing. I've got a superstar in Myles Garrett. I've got a superstar in Nick Chubb. I've got a superstar in Joel Bitonio. I've got a superstar in Wyatt Teller. Maybe not. Maybe not be a superstar, but a very good player. Sure. I can go on and on. I got a lot of great players on this team. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the quarterback's the most important player. We know that. But if I got as many great players as I think I have, then I don't care who's the quarterback.
I'm should be good.
The players for 8 games should be able to at least get me 500.
Well, thank you.
I'm not asking them to go 7-1 with Jacoby Brissett. I'm just saying, can you go 4-4? They got enough talent.
Do we know the first 8 games?
We do.
Yes, we do.
And in fact, the first 4 are all
winnable.
against very mediocre or below teams.
Yeah. I definitely want Deshaun
They have
back.
3 very tough games in the first 8. They play the Ravens once, the Bengals once, and the Chargers. Mm-hmm. The 4th toughest game is the Patriots, who are at. Or at least I think they're at.
I don't know.
And then the Steelers, and then they play 3 bad teams.
We got blowed out.
Give me 4-4. I'm not asking for 5-3. I mean, I'd like 5-3.
I would too.
But if he can give me 4-4, I can get Deshaun Watson for 9 games. I'm expecting Deshaun Watson to go 6-3.
You talking about a Chargers team that we should have won had we not
right.
had 2 defensive breakdowns.
And they're a good
in the
team.
secondary.
They're a good team. We know that.
Okay.
But all right. But listen, So
with the hurt Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Deshaun Watson's a stud. When he comes back, I don't care that he's missed a year and a half.
I don't even hear you
He's
guys
gonna be ready to
talking
go.
about this, right? So you just named some great assets here, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm a longtime Browns, right? So I remember the good days. I like one playoff win in Pittsburgh is not a good day, right?
Show
you see it right here, bro.
Expectations have gotten so low.
That's what it is.
Expectations have gotten so low.
I'm used to be in the game right before we go to the Super Bowl. That's who I am, right? I'm the dude that bet $500 to Georgia like the Browns were going to beat Denver and walk across there.
Wow.
Then Biner left the ball on the carpet at the 1, right? I'm that guy when Mike called back and said, bring me my money to practice tomorrow.
Like get them together.
Right.
I will say this.
But hey, I wanted to say this. When is the coaching coming to play here?
Well,
Stefanski here.
He's on the hot seat.
Somebody has done the shopping. The groceries are in the cabinet.
He's on the hot seat this year, no doubt.
So if Watson
I wouldn't say he's on the hot
so if Watson is not here, you have enough pieces that you should be able to manage the first 8 games. Out 8 games.
I just said that. I literally just went through the whole thing.
I was saying this yesterday. Yeah. We in this town don't hold people accountable.
Who though?
Not in this town. Not in this town.
The fans are soft.
I do.
A lot of times.
Because I was last year. I wasn't putting it all on Baker. I was saying it was the play calling was not that great.
No, there were problems there, no doubt. Jacoby Brissett, we know what he is, right? He's a backup. He's a good quality backup quarterback. You need him for a few games, it's fine. He ain't going to put the team on his back and win games for you. He's not that kind of player. But you know what he doesn't do? Doesn't turn the ball over very much.
And that's all you need.
Protect the football. Yeah. You got studs. I got Nick Chubb. I got Kareem Hunt. I got Amari Cooper. I'm getting them the ball. Let them do the work because they're great.
This is devastating. Ask yourself this: if Mike Tomlin had this roster, what we looking at? If Harbaugh had this, if Bill Belichick,
your guy McVay,
if Andy Reid had this.
Yeah.
They would be they good. They would say, you know what? I got this over here. All I got to do as a coach is manufacture a couple plays. Let me dial up a couple first down plays, and I got enough to move with it. So if you going out here and your expectation level is we only going to be 4-4, you always got to say, what would another person do with that roster?
I definitely was the one last year that said, you know, it was Kevin Stefanski came out in the meeting and said we have to find a way to get Odell the ball. But all I know is that when he went to L.A.,
they found a way.
You never heard McVay say, I got to find a way to get Odell the ball. It just
happened. But no offseason, no OTAs, no playbook.
One last thing on this before we move on to the Seattle conversation is that I get what you're saying, and you know I'm with you with Jay saying it's a Super Bowl or bust. But let's spin it the other way. In a way, it's a compliment to Watson, right? Because with Baker, I can't say Super Bowl or bust because he's not that kind of quarterback.
No.
Deshaun Watson, I'm not going to say it's a bad trade if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, but I am going to be disappointed if he doesn't win a Super Bowl because he is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. And my expectation now is that the Browns, at some point, will win a Super Bowl with him.
I agree.